What's up, everyone? My name is Mike. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about this drop coming up, the Daredevil Elektra drop, everything that I've been seeing online about it, my thoughts about it, the price predictions, my game plan for this. Let's get into this. So I was sort of on the fence about actually even making this video. Usually I do price predictions for things like Disney and Marvel and DC characters that come to the platform, because these are the things that I'm interested in. But when it comes to this, I just didn't know whether or not I should make a video about it, just because of my thoughts on the collectible, how it looks, and where I think it's going to sit in the market, in the aftermarket. But it's also because of all those reasons that I actually did want to go ahead and make this video just to discuss this a little bit with you. But leave your thoughts in the comment section below about this collectible. What do you think about it? How does it look to you? And just in general, where do you think it's going to sit in this aftermarket here? When this was first announced on Twitter with the picture, there was a lot of sentiment around the way that it looked, the collectible aesthetics, and people hoping that because it said Daredevil and not Elektra, we would actually see other characters from Daredevil. Perhaps Daredevil himself, Kingpin, Bullseye, whoever it might be in this blind box drop. But sure enough, we just got 4 Elektras. We don't even get an ultra rare animated with this one, so it skips that with this. And the biggest thing that people saw was the neck of Elektra and the different shade between her face and her actual skin tone of her body really being off, and you really notice that from the neck to the face. It just doesn't scream premium digital collectible, unfortunately, and I have to agree with that. This one doesn't look great, and for a character that I personally do not think is as popular as other characters that have already been dropped in the Marvel universe on VeVe, I just don't think that this is going to sit well. Having said that, the secret rare looks really awesome. I do like the animation when it comes to that, but with this, you've got a very small chance of getting the secret rare on the drop. However, if you haven't been getting drops, I think this might be the one that you could actually go for and get, because I don't think a lot of people are actually going to want to go for this just based on where it may sit in the aftermarket immediately after, and I'm going to get into my price predictions for this. But that's immediately my thoughts on this collectible, what I think about it for this, and these are just my thoughts. You don't have to agree with them. It is something that I see largely talked about online so far with this drop, and I have to agree with what people are saying about it. Look, VeVe's not going to always knock it out of the park with premium digital collectibles, the looks of them and everything that they've got going on over there, and this is one of the ones that I think it falls below par. Having said that, I think it's still worthwhile to talk about price predictions for this so that you can decide whether or not you're going to go for the drop or not. And my price predictions, you do not have to follow along with. These are just my price predictions. This is not advice for you to follow along with at all. So make your own price predictions and decide whether or not you want to go for this drop. Let's talk about Elektra herself. So this is a first appearance, and it's going to list for 50 gems in a blind box format. And like I said, there is no ultra rare animated in this one, like there usually is in these blind box drops for Marvel characters. We've got the common at 12,850 editions. We've got the uncommon at 9,850 editions. We've got the rare at 6,850 editions. And finally, we've got the secret rare animated at 2,802 editions. And really, when I think about this, there's only one character that we can actually really compare this to. You could argue that we could also compare it to Storm, but Storm being a first appearance and probably a little bit more popular than Elektra, I'm going to compare this one to Invisible Woman, being that I think Invisible Woman is definitely a more popular character than Elektra in my opinion, but it doesn't have the FA, so I think it's closer to that tier of where Elektra will fall in her price in the aftermarket. And this is difficult to talk about because I do think that these are going to fall below the market value of 50 for the list price. And this is where you need to decide whether or not you actually want to go for it, risk it to try to get those low amounts of secret rares in the drop. It's really tough to make that decision, and we'll talk about that a little bit further. Let's talk about Invisible Woman. Her common had 16,500 editions and is currently listed at 25 gems. Her uncommon is 12,500 editions and is currently listed at 28 gems. Her rare had 6,500 editions and is at 43 gems. There was an ultra rare, but because Elektra doesn't have an ultra rare, we don't need to really get into that. And there was a secret rare, of course, animated with 1,500 editions, and that goes for 550 gems. So even with Invisible Woman also having a list price of 50 gems, there's only two, the ultra rare and the secret rare, that exceed that 50 gem list price in the aftermarket at this point in time. I actually talked about my Invisible Woman ultra rare purchase being one of my worst purchases in a previous video on this channel, where I actually purchased her for 450 gems, and currently it's sitting at 120. So that's a tough one to bite. But getting back to Elektra, here's where I think these are going to sit from common through to the secret rare. I think the common will be somewhere between 20 and 25 gems, the uncommon between 25 and 30 gems, the rare between 30 and 35 gems, and the secret rare perhaps as much as 350, maybe 400 gems. So with only the secret rare coming in at a higher price point than the list price, this is one I'm going to sit out. And I learned the hard way with the Matt Gondek painting and weapons rack to just put my phone away. Do not even try to go for the drop. At that time, I knew and I price predicted that those weapons racks and the painting would list in the aftermarket once things have settled to a point lower than what they listed for. And I still went for the drops just to see that blind box pop up, just to see if I could actually even get it. And I got it, and then I hesitated and I thought, should I even hit that buy now? Should I go for it? I saw that blind box and I thought, you know what, might as well. And sure enough, I got two weapons racks off the drop, and I got the painting as well, and they haven't fared so well. So my advice to you is, if you are definitely not going for the drop, put your phone away during that time. It is too tempting to just say, you know what, let's see if I can actually get it, get that blind box. And then when it pops up, it's so tempting to hit that buy now if you do get it. So that's just my advice to you. That's what I'm going to be doing, just so I do not actually go for the drop, because I know how tempting it can be, especially to be able to see that green truck show up on your screen. So that's my advice. Do not feel like you need to take it at all. Make your own price predictions for this. And like I always say, these are short-term price predictions, very short-term. Hours after the drop, days after the drop, maybe up until a week after the drop, where that market has settled, all the collectibles have been delivered, and then this is where we typically sit when the dust has settled. So a very short-term price prediction with this one. I hope this has helped you in any way, shape, or form. Love to know your thoughts on this collectible in the comments section below. I respond to anybody and everybody that leaves a comment. Thank you so much. A like goes a long way for this channel. If you want to leave a like, as well as a subscribe if you want more VeVe content. Thank you so much for watching.